less shock. I just thought, I don't know. I understand that it is a miscommunication between Grayson and Julia.
Is it though? Is
It
it a
is.
miscommunication or is it just completely different personality types?
Well, it could be a completely, yeah, it is. It is completely different personality types.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for her, intimacy is getting to know each other very intimately, like very personally,
Yeah. And for him, like a lot of
very physical,
people,
like very common thing, like
it's physical, it's
romance, cuddling,
romance.
it's sex, everything,
Yeah.
which is quite all right. I don't, and there is a kind of a miscommunication, and Alexandra, the judge, who is supposed to be a judge, could actually find things from Julia and kind of explain and act like a mediator, but that needs some real skills, which sadly our Alexandra doesn't have.
Okay. I thought we were meant to be focusing on the shortcomings of the participants and not the experts, but okay.
I mean, Chris might have given up on his
Well,
opinions. I haven't.
okay. Philip and Stella, again, a couple they didn't show much of.
They're cruising.
Yeah.
Stella is on cloud 9 yesterday and cloud 10 today.
I was going to say Cloud 9, more like Cloud 19. Everything just seems to be going swimmingly for them.
Yeah, we just have to see. I'm just waiting for the fall. The higher it goes up, the louder the bang is.
What if there isn't?
Oh, there'll be.
But what if?
Oh, come on. It's one of those things you throw a ball in your hand and expect it will go into space. Come on, it's not gonna happen. It's gonna
Okay.
fall. That's like every relationship has its honeymoon period and it will eventually fall.
Maybe so. Maybe. Alyssa and David. I thought his little task that he was doing for her as part of Intimacy Week was funny because she definitely was enjoying it and having fun with it too. You know, him getting into an apron in his underwear and cleaning the flat.
Yeah, I mean, he has a lot of body, so he leans on his body for intimacy.
Yeah, but it's also that she likes the place to be clean. That was the reason he gave. He likes the flat to be really nice and clean. So he was going to do that kind of act of service for her and like do some cleaning, but also have some fun with it, you know, by being in just the apron underwear.
Yeah, I understand that. But also, what I mean is, how do you say? Alicia is also on.
Yeah,
She might not be as high as Arstella is.
yeah.
She is also.
But
This
she is
guy is.
thrilled with where things are right now.
Yeah, because see, this is one of those cases we see in maps again and again where the woman makes the man look good. She carries the relationship. The man just kind of bounces off or plays along.
I guess so, yeah. There are those.
Yeah,
Just generally happen again and again.
yeah, I think we have those two. I'm just waiting for the fall and then see.
Who is next? We have Luke and Mel, Rebecca and Steve, Scott and Gia, Chris and Brooke, Beck and Danny, and Rachel.
Let's talk about Luke and Mel.
Isn't it amazing what happens when someone decides not to be a cow and opens himself up to the possibility of what might
Okay, I'm sorry.
happen?
I love the editors of the show,
Yeah, I
but
know.
sometimes they just are so tempted for the redemption arcs.
Oh, absolutely.
They are giving Mel one. It might be a true thing, like she opened up, but do I believe it?
No.
No. I see it as more redemption arc and editors' self indulgence.
Yeah. She's got to stay for another week, so why not make it a bit more tolerable for herself and give
Yes.
her some positive airtime? The last trick didn't work.
Yes, and I don't want to sound like I'm stuck on this, but a hug shooketh to the core.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I was going to note that down and I forgot. Yeah, shook us to the core by a 3 minute hug. And I have to ask, do you also think that the timer going off for the hug was put in by the editors post production? Because even though things appear to be getting better, I kind of struggle to believe that they would continue hugging for a good 10, 20 seconds past that timer going off. Not that they'd like repel each other away, but like, okay, 3 minutes is up.
Alright, I don't know. They could. I have to. That's something I can cannot comment on.
You didn't really notice.
Well, I didn't.
Yeah, they showed them hugging, and the alarm started going off to say, time's up. And then it showed his face like enjoying the hug, and then her face like just kind of looking around, but not looking completely awkward, and then back and forth, and showing them both in the shot, and then eventually they let go. So it is. Well, how did they do that? Why did they do that? But either way, it's nice to see Luke a bit happy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I see it as a dead horse.
Oh, flogging a dead horse. Well, yeah, I guess. Scott and Gia.
Well, they are cruising along.
Mm-hmm.
This man, Scott, he is having fun. He is that one guy who says anything to get what needs to be done.
In what way?
I mean, the way he is critical about Steve, it almost felt like a projection. Like,
You think so? I
yeah,
didn't. I didn't get that at all. I actually was going to come to that when we talked about.
yeah, but I just felt like, I mean, do you know who are the two guys who have raised their opinions? One is Danny, who slept to be on the show,
Yeah.
who slept on the show to be on the show, and then we have Scott, who just couldn't care a thing about Gia's daughter.
Yeah. Yeah. She doesn't factor into his life at all. Really.
And these are the two guys who are giving Steven a lecture about how to treat and respect women. Scott and Gia seems to be just
Getting along.
coasting along. Yeah, they
Yeah.
are having fun. They are getting all the gossip from the other group.
One thing I thought was good was he said he's not normally into being dominated and because he likes to be in control, but he's open to it with Gia. He seemed to have fun with it.
Y-
He's obviously being a businessman, and how many businesses does he have? What is something? He's probably constantly trying to maintain control of a lot of different things, so it's probably a good thing for him to just let go for once. And then the fact that he's never given a woman a foot rub.
Yeah, I mean,
It's something small, but it's something nice to do for your partner.
he looks decent. Like he works out a lot, and he has money, and he has a sports car.
Okay. And
I don't think he needs to be in a place where he needs to give foot rubs and all.
well, you think that's only for people who are humble.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that he is more selfish than that.
Okay, that makes more sense rather than he has this status, he has this posh thing and that posh thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, when you can get away with a lot, people get away with a lot, and he got away.
I suppose. Okay, who's next?
Let's talk about Rebecca and Steven,
Rebecca and Steve or Rachel and Stephen?
or Rachel and Steven.
Oh, Rachel and Stephen. I couldn't help but think when she was packing up all of her stuff, like, well, good on you, because she was like, and I'm even taking this. And she took all the laundry detergent and stuff as well.
She's really, really petty.
Yeah, and she was really, really hurt. So I can see where it's come from.
No, no, there is getting hurt that, and then there is petty.
Revenge.
Yeah, I mean, you could do a lot of things. You could throw his clothes around in the air. There is a lot of things for her. Is she took all the cleaning supplies?
Well, yeah, she made her point, didn't she, that everything she bought to make the place feel like a home with her, even what looks like half the bloody toilet roll.
Yeah, but I
But
don't know
she
if she
she
lives in
did
this.
that, but she was still respectful. She didn't throw his clothes around or make a mess or anything like that. Not that they showed anyway.
Well, it's on cameras,
Yeah,
so
but they'll have cut somehow.
okay. Even
Whether
if
she
she
did anything
doesn't,
disrespectful or not, they'll have cut somehow.
it's not about if it's a some woman could be. I don't know, a woman, a wife found that her husband cheated, and what she did was she canceled the return flight tickets when he was in other country, and she checked out the bank account.
Okay.
There are some really, really petty people.
Okay. I'm not going to say anything on that. So, okay.
No,
And
I'm,
then
yeah, I'm talking about it. And whether it's cheating or not, you just don't want a woman that can go to that length.
but you never know who would go to those lengths. You might think you. Do you really know?
The kind of people that would even take cleaners, everything to the maybe toilet roll, anything and everything just to be very, very petty.
I could see myself doing that.
Thank you for saying that.
At least I'm honest. You already know that I'm petty, but I don't think you know the depths of my pettiness and how far it could go.
I'm glad.
Thankfully, I don't really have the need to use it in any capacity.
All right, let's.
We have
And
to talk about the kiss.
yeah, and he finally kissed, and it felt like if it was a role reversal, a man and a woman,
Yeah.
it would have been abusive on national TV and would have become viral.
Why?
That's how uncomfortable the kiss looked like.
I mean, it didn't look comfortable, no, but they did it, and he didn't recoil in horror. He didn't go, no, didn't feel anything as expected. She felt something, but probably because she said she's so fucking horny, she's having lucid dreams about shagging the bloke.
Yeah, I guess. But no, see, the thing is whether he liked it or not. But if you have seen that frame,
Yeah.
it looked like she is forcing herself upon him.
Well, I don't think so. I disagree. It did look very awkward. It looked like he put his head as far back to his neck as he could, but he was also holding the back of her head. So it was almost like he was pushing his head backwards. I don't know why I'm doing the action because no one but you can see me
Maybe
pushing his head
he's
backwards,
holding
like
her head.
his chin into his double chin into his neck, all like squished together, and like head completely straight, and like squishing her head into his. And it was like, okay, like nothing about him was moving except his lips.
Yeah, it's see, first thing, I don't think he actually felt the kiss.
No, I don't think so at all.
So, whether he says he likes or not is not about him liking or disliking. It's more about how bad he has come before the group and he
Yeah.
just want to.
For her, that kiss was, oh my god, the guy that I like finally kissed me properly, and he's probably come out of it like, okay, so now what? Like, I've kissed her, I did what she asked me to do, I did what the challenge asked me to do. All right, he'll probably go back to how things were. It's not going to progress anything. I don't think it's going to suddenly ignite that spark for him that he feels is missing. I just don't think it's going to do anything for him. Again, I think it's another flogging a dead horse.
Yeah, I mean, people like Stella understand their intimacy even though it's weird. They get on with it. They try to find that are weird like them.
Stella or Julia?
Julia. Julia, and I don't think Steven has found what his intimacy is. So for him, it's more like, I don't know, it's more like shooting an arrow in the dark. If it hits, if it hits, he doesn't know when to shoot the arrow either. It's one of those very
Yeah.
weird relationship.
Do you think Steven's type, and not mean the type that he would like or thinks that he would like, but do you think his actual type is someone like him? Works in kind of marine engineering or whatever it is into like rock music, who is awkward and geeky as fuck. I think he needs the female version of himself.
No, I don't think so. I
Oh,
mean, that might look like it might work, but I think it's one of those things he hasn't found what his intimacy is. So, the other one, Rachel,
yeah,
even if is she's open to it. If Steven can come and say, okay, this is what intimacy is, like the same thing Julia did. Unlike
yeah.
Grayson, Rachel would actually be open to it and
Yeah,
see
I
where
definitely
it
think she'd
goes.
be open to trying most things, if not anything, just, to give herself and him that chance.
Yeah, but the only trouble is this fellow hasn't found
He
his
doesn't know what it is, yeah,
intimacy,
so he can't ask.
so he can't ask. Like, how can you ask something you do not know?
Anyway, okay, so Beck and Danny
What do we say about them?
coasting. He's shagging her to keep her sweet by the looks of things and stay on the show a bit longer. I don't know what else there is to say.
I'm very glad that nobody listens to this.
Well, no one knows who we are anyway, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't like this unfiltered version. All right.
I mean, it is in the description that These are largely unedited except for any pauses. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure, no, I'm very confident that they are all marked not for children. So we're okay. We won't end up on YouTube Kids by accident. Okay, Mummy, what's shagging?
Shagging is jumping on trampoline.
Well, we haven't got a trampoline, so I don't know how you learned that one. Anyway, Beck and Danny. I think I've said my opinion already.
Yeah, I think that's about it. There isn't anything. They are being on TV, they are trying their best to look like that couple that shows up in one of your events. Like everything is good, but nothing is.
Oh my gosh. And do you know what? Even if she was like, we're in such a good place, the intimacy's good, blah, 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 blah. As soon as someone else in the group was to turn around and say, yeah, our sex life is fantastic, she'd have that foul, envious face on again. I don't think it matters how good a position she feels she's in. I think she's still going to have that green eyed monster. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she wants to do better than Gia.
Yeah,
That's it.
I think she's in competition with herself just as much as other
No,
people.
no. There is Gia is in competition with everyone, but Becky is competition with Gia. That's how it.
Okay, Rebecca and Steve or Chris and Brooke.
Let's talk about Rebecca and Steve.
Okay, Steve asking after her ultimate fantasy night, asking off camera whether she had an ulterior motive to be on the show, just exposes how much he has the ulterior motive to be on the show. He is clearly not there for love. He's proven it time and again. And just asking that question without cause, just, yeah, reinforces him being there for the wrong reasons. He
Y-
also, I will let you, I promise, also, how typical, I'm sorry, of a man to be like, play the emotional woman card, saying she's too much for him. Insecure man.
No, it's not about the insecure man. What happened is he came here hoping for
Fame.
maybe 40-year blonde or 30-year blonde
Or fame.
and fame, not just or fame, because there can be negative annotation to fame. So
True.
you want all the things, and he got.
He got someone a year older than him who's really vivacious, wants to have bags of fun, loads of conversation, and that's just completely not his vibe at all by the looks of it.
You know,
Even though his whole career supposedly is in hospitality and hosting and all that stuff, I've not seen any of that in his personality. In fact, have we seen any personality from him at all?
yeah, I mean, other than I'll talk about him, but Rebecca, she's like the most beautiful 51-year-old in the world would be. She has that aura. You have no idea how many 30-year-olds and 20-year-olds would be in her DMs if it's open.
My goodness. I dread to think she is very beautiful, a
She's
beautiful woman regardless of age.
Yeah, and she has that aura, the way she carries herself and the way her mannerism and everything. The wisdom, her wisdom comes off in the very first episode. I have told you that
Yeah.
she has this wise old woman soul, and it's so beautiful. And she is dulled because of this
Oh yeah, definitely.
gaslighter whose profession is a creative director.
Yeah, I'm not really sure of what. He says hospitality, but really.
I mean, maybe that's their job to just gaslight the customers. I don't know what it is, the customers, the employees, or anything, but I don't think he's good at anything other than gaslight.
Seems possible.
Let's say he doesn't like Rebecca, which like 30-40% of 20-year-olds, 50% of 30-year-olds, 40 no 70 to 80% of 40-year-olds and 95% year olds like the reason just he could be gracious, like he could be gracious about it.
Yeah.
Somebody that has creative in his type would could be gracious even if he doesn't find attractive. She's outright gaslighting anyone and everyone, even the judge. I like gaslighting the judge, but he should not be the one.
No, he was just talking in circles as he does. And when she was like, just give me a straight answer, he was like, well, ask me a question and I'll give you a straight answer. Because I don't have to wait to be told what to say from an earpiece. And it's like, why? Why did you go there? You weren't getting anywhere because you weren't actually saying anything of substance. She called you out on it, and instead of saying, do you know what, XYZ, and just being a bit more truthful, he just made up some bullshit and was rude.
Yeah, I mean, he was rude, but was it bullshit though? Does it happen? That makes me wonder.
I
Like,
mean, what everything he said was bullshit.
no, I'm
The
talking
earpiece thing, I
about
think.
you don't know because that's something that
No, I said I think it's bullshit. I didn't say I know it's bullshit.
you think it's
Yeah,
bullshit, but I don't know if it is because maybe that's what it is. We don't know how much the judges actually know. They watch dinner parties,
yeah,
and I don't know if they watch anything else. I don't know if they watch the
yeah. I don't
clips
know.
because the edited version doesn't happen long after.
What do you mean the edited versions?
So they have tapes from, let's say, three or four cameras for each couple.
Yeah.
That adds up to 25 to 30 cameras. So it goes for, like, let's say 6 to 7 hours of shooting a day.
Okay.
And while the process happening, I don't think there is anybody behind and editing things and everything. So
Yeah.
so the judges only know what is happening in the dinner parties, and rest it
Which
has to come from producers.
which makes sense because they can't possibly watch even edited versions of every single day. It would have to be very heavily edited or they've got hours to watch every day. So it makes sense. But I do kind of wish they had more that they saw and commented on throughout the process because there's things that happen that they don't see and they don't hear the truth about. I can't think of exactly when, but kind of remember them replaying some footage from someone calling them out, but that memory is very vague, so really wrong. They don't tend to do that. I think it would be really good if they did from time to time. Not always, but it could be good. Make it more as well.
Well, to make it more exciting, you need to have contestants that have more exciting. There could be, see, even if both the people are open and into each other, there will be lots of drama because people just don't. Life is not fairy tale. There will always be pain
Yeah.
or situations where to move. People could fight on.
Yeah, people who just have stupid little spats, don't they? It's not worth them watching.
Yeah.
What do you think about his comment though? See where he like, oh, I think that what I said was I don't think there was any way you could misinterpret.
I don't think I don't think most of what he said has anything to interpret. He just tried to create some kind of word salad and get out of it.
Yeah, word salad's definitely the right term. And then to go back to the apartment, find that she's moved back in, and then end it, finish the relationship off completely.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's he kept on saying at the end, I know I have tried.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
I
if
know, I've
that's
done
what
everything.
trying is, I just don't know what to. Last student in the.
And then our final couple, Chris and Brooke.
What do you think? I have a version of it.
I have a version of it, but I need to clarify the.
Okay, my version is after that picture, I think she just could not be acting in that relationship
Right?
because Chris is falling so hard. Every man, even though you are a contestant, you have come here fame and as a career, you have a heart. I don't know. I think she felt like he cannot deceive it. I don't think it's about the yeah, because a woman who says that all the men that she has been with has cheated her and finds man purest of the heart and jump for her if she asks to or needs.
Yeah. I don't know, but I can need to clarify the.
Yeah, I believe that's what has happened, and that's why she left. And
Yeah.
even the task that was asked from the man, he did like a really nice path.
Yeah, I thought that was really kind of him, really thoughtful because it was something that she could do and take her space entirely to herself if she wanted, and still enjoy it. And she said no. He also offered the alternative, let's have a champagne on the couch, use a face mask, and just sit together with a drink. And she still said no. And it's like, oh, it was really thoughtful and quite kind of him to do something like that that
Yeah, but the thing
wasn't
is,
really about him.
yeah, but no, it's about her feeling guilty that she's leading this man in.
Right, okay, I think I get you now.
Yeah, the all my theory is about her guilt and want to be. She will sooner or later break the heart. Why not break it?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's kind of
Maybe. But how did she leave? Because I'm not clear on the details of how she left. Did she just up and leave without really saying much? Or what?
oh, it always she has a friend to hide behind about his comments on fat woman, clingy woman, this and
Right.
I mean clingy is actually a projection, you know that one out of three.
I guess it's plausible. Something that struck me was like the workshop. Chris said to Alessandra like what he'd been doing, and she was like, basically, try something, try a different approach. And he said to the camera afterwards, "I'm just gonna what I'm doing."
He said
So if she was feeling overwhelmed with everything he was doing, and he refused to take any advice, and then yeah, she probably was.
yeah, but the thing is, he's no. The problem is, it's not. He doesn't. This fellow goes dives deep in without any question. When
Right.
he feels like the love, he might actually be in love. From the picture we have seen,
Maybe he did say a couple of times. I think he does have feelings for her. He does really care for her.
yeah. I mean, I can see that on the from the TV, thousands
Yeah.
of miles away,
Several
and
months later.
maybe it's the wedding picture, like
Yeah.
because she that might have taken her back.
It was a really lovely picture. I don't remember being aware that she was voicing being overwhelmed before like tonight's episode. In which case, yesterday's why didn't she dial it back? Or did she think she was by doing something fun like painting? And why did she expect something different? She painted about a dead dog. He took the task a bit more seriously and painted something more intimate about the both of them, which was really lovely and really sweet.
Yeah, and also she has been stringing along. She's playing. He is making her look good,
Yeah.
just like some of the women do on the show. Is the reverse.
Do you think it's kind of the career aspect? She doesn't want to get feelings. She's not really there for the right reasons. He's starting to fall for her. She can see that. She's like, whoa. And she can't actually push him away anymore without probably them ending up arguing. So she's like, do you know what? It's easier if I just go.
Yeah, because
It spares his feelings a little bit more. It spares her a lot of hassle. She's had a few weeks on TV. All right, can't really get any further.
I guess
It's possible.
one of those. I think she will come back eventually because her sister will probably. This is an opportunity. Cannot go back.
Maybe, but it was also her sister when she got the ick that told her to run.
Yeah, but the way it's the face she it
Yeah.
because without telling anything about him, if you just see the video alone, it paints a very bad picture.
It does, but also I think he's showing that he's redeeming himself.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think he's redeeming anything. I think he's the same person. The only thing is he was in a very male dominated where sexual innuendos, shaming fat people is a common thing.
And now he's just surrounded by one woman most of the time.
Yeah, still.
So he's just going to be acting differently.
Yeah, and he's a
Contextual.
decent man. Yeah, and I don't think there is anything changing. The only thing he might have realized is these are not the things you say on TV.
Yeah.
This is the locker room talk. Yeah,
Yeah. If I'd known this was going to be shown, I wouldn't have said it in the audition.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of those things. But even then, we should not take it out of what do you say
Context?
context. The worst auditions are I only stalked a couple of boyfriends, exes, and
Oh, Mel's.
nobody called me psychopath or
Yeah. Yeah, but Mel is potentially a sociopath, so.
yeah, but hers and our Scott
Yeah.
about the baby. We haven't seen many others, so
I do kind of wish it was a task that they all did at some point because you probably see a more unfiltered version of through that. I'm not sure. Like you possibly get to see a different side of them, or it would confirm what you believe to be true about the person.
yeah, the only thing is most people keep it really vague and you know make it sound like something but not being something to keep them open and people are smart.
Yeah.
It's just couple of people fumbled and this guy fumbled by I don't know. As I said, Chris is my boy and He's making me proud.
He's making you proud, but it seems like he drove Brooke away.
No, Brooke has gone away because,
She ran away.
yeah, she ran away
Yeah.
because she's not ready for love,
Yeah.
which my boy Chris is shining on her.
Okay. Well, I've clarified the timeline for my theory. It doesn't match.
Alright, let's leave it as a theory then.
Oh no, it's true, but the timeline doesn't marry up to what I thought.
Alright, okay, let's not talk about it.
Okay.
Alright, with that, let's end the show.
Yeah. See you for episode 12.